What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome, and if you're not, thank you for coming back. I'm Becca, and here on my channel I cover all things fitness and fashion and give you my honest review. Today's video is going to be about two Lululemon leggings. One of them is one that we're very familiar with, the Lululemon Align legging. Everyone knows the Align legging. They're extremely popular. They're probably one of my all-time favorite Lululemon leggings, and I'm going to be comparing them to the fairly new Instill legging. The Instill legging probably came out a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people were talking about how these are their all-time favorite legging and they like them better than the Align. So in this video, I'm going to compare the two, talk about the pros and cons, if I have a preference in which one I like best, and talk about if I think it's the best Lululemon legging ever. Before I get started, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video, and let's get into the review. So I'm going to start with the Instill legging. I was super excited to get these just because when they first came out a couple weeks ago, I was looking at the reviews and they already had 25 reviews and they were almost all 5 stars. And a lot of people were talking about how these are their new favorite Lululemon legging, how they're better than the Align, how someone's been purchasing Aligns for a really long time and this is now their go-to legging. So I was super excited to get them in and kind of compare the two and also do this review to help you decide which one would be best for you. So let's talk about the details of this legging. This legging was $118, so it is obviously more expensive than the Align. The Align is $98. The material is also listed differently, even though they feel very, very similar. So this material is a smooth, supportive, smooth cover fabric. It is a smoothing support, it is quick drying, it is sweat wicking, it has an effortless 4-way stretch, and it has a soft but matte appearance, and it has added Lycra for stretch and shape retention. These are high-rise just like the Aligns. They're 25-inch just like the Aligns. I purchased them in navy, but they have them in several colors now. They're coming out with more colors. It seems like each week they have like a purple, a black, and also a copper brown and a gold color. They're designed for yoga, just like the Align, and they have a back pocket, which the Align does not have a back pocket on the waistband, but this one does. And also it has a lot more stitching, but we'll get into that here in a minute. But yeah, those are just all of the details that they've listed on the website. I'll show you what they look like in the front. They have a lot more stitching than the Align. This is what the front looks like. You can see they have the stitching right here, down the middle, on the sides, very similar to the Unlimit Tight. If you're familiar with those, I have a pair of those, but I will talk a little bit about those here in a minute. But the stitching is almost the same in the front. And then here's what the back looks like with the stitching, and then your pocket is right here. And you have the crotch gusset that goes all the way down the legging, very similar to the Align. And yeah, oh, I'll show you what the Lululemon logo looks like too. Just like this. And I really, really like this navy color. It's really pretty. These I just stuck with my true size 4 and they fit me perfectly. I definitely would not want to size down in these, and I don't think I would want to size up. So I would recommend just sticking with your true size in the Instill leggings. The material is extremely soft on the outside. I would definitely agree with the description. It's very soft. It has like that matte look to it. I would say it kind of looks like a brushed material on the outside, and then the inside is more of like a slick material. With the Aligns, it's more like brushed on the outside and brushed on the inside. But with this, I feel like they're brushed on the outside, but they're also like, they're a little bit different, and they're definitely like smooth and slicker on the inside. So those are the details with the Instill legging. I won't talk a ton about the details of the Align leggings just because I feel like everyone's familiar with the details, but the fabric content is the Nulu fabric. It's that buttery soft material. It has great shape retention. It has that 4-way stretch. It is a high-rise 25-inch. It doesn't have all of the stitching just like this legging does, and you'll see in the side-by-side comparison. And I think that's the main details about the legging. They're designed for yoga, which these are too, and they are, like I mentioned earlier, $98, so a little bit cheaper than these leggings. Okay, so now that I have talked about the details of each individual legging, now let's compare the two, talk about the pros and cons, and what my honest thoughts are. Let's start with the material, how both of the leggings feel, and what the main differences are between the materials. They are very, very similar. They are that really soft brushed material. I do feel feel like the Instill will hold up better over time if you do those like HIIT workouts, even though you're supposed to do yoga in them. I like wear my Align leggings for everything, but I feel like these will hold up better over time versus the Align because this material is definitely thicker than the Align legging. They both have really good stretch to them. I feel like they're both easy to move around in and do a variety of different activities in, workouts, yoga, HIIT, whatever it may be. So I definitely don't feel restricted in either legging. The fit of the leggings is definitely different just because the material is different. Since the Align legging is a little bit thinner, it has that barely there feeling, and the Instill legging is a little bit thicker and it's definitely a lot more compressive than the Align legging. So the waistband is a lot more compressive, the overall legging is a lot more compressive, but it's not like too tight like the Wonder Train where it may feel a little bit uncomfortable if you don't have the right size. It's just, to me, the perfect amount of compression. I think my biggest complaint with the Instill legging is probably the height of the waistband, because one of the things I really like about the Align legging is it has like a really nice tall waistband. It's really nice high rise, and these are still high rise, but since it does not have a distinct like stitching in the front where the waistband is, I mean it kind of does where it goes down, but it's not similar to the Align. I feel like it's not as high rise as the Align legging, and I tried to line up the two just a little bit, but it's hard to tell because it doesn't have like a stitch where you can like see like, okay, this is where the waistband starts. You will probably be able to see better when I try them on the height, because you'll definitely be able to see that the Align is definitely a lot higher than the Instill, but maybe like this. It's really hard to see when I'm holding them like this, but I'll show you in the try on. I'll put like two side by sides of the Instill and the Align. That's just like my biggest complaint with the Instill is like, just wish it was a little bit higher rise, or maybe it didn't have all the stitching and it was just like the Align and it didn't have the stitching, because I really, really like this material a lot. I love how compressive the legging is. I like how it's thicker than the Align legging. I just wish the height of the waistband was a little bit higher, because I feel like the Instill, the high rise hits me right at the belly button, and with the Align legging, it hits me a little bit higher than that. As far as the fit of the legging itself, I feel like it's very comfortable. I feel like I can move around easily in the Instill legging, and in the Align legging, it just feels, like I mentioned earlier, a little bit more compressive, and the material definitely is a little bit thicker. As far as is the Instill comparable to the Enlimit, I don't think so, because the Enlimit is very thin, if not thinner than the Align legging. So I think the only thing that's comparable is maybe the design, but the material is not comparable at all. I will say that I think the Instill legging is a little bit more cellulite friendly than the Align, just because the material is thicker. I wouldn't say it's like 100% you cannot see cellulite at all. You definitely still can, but it's a little bit more cellulite friendly than the Align. As far as like the waistband falling down, I feel like the Instill legging stays in place, and sometimes with the Align I have to pull it up just a little bit, but for the most part it stays in place, so I don't really have a huge issue with that with the Align. But the Instill legging, it literally does not move the entire time. I will also say another big difference is with the Align, I feel like sometimes I could go down a size. I definitely couldn't go up a size, but I feel like I could kind of go in between a 2 and 4. But with the Instill legging, I'm just a true size 4, just because the material is a lot thicker, it's a little bit more compressive, and I feel like I don't have a lot of wiggle room in between sizes. So those are like the main differences. I would say like the really big differences is the material, the fit. One's more compressive, one's a little bit thicker, one's thinner, and it kind of has that like barely there feeling. I would say those are like the biggest differences, and obviously the stitching on the Instill legging versus the Align legging. And hopefully you can kind of see like the fit of the two when I show them side by side. Now let's talk about which one I prefer, and if I think the Instill legging is the all-time best Lululemon legging ever. So I can't say that the Instill is the best Lululemon legging ever, because like I mentioned earlier in this video, I had a few complaints, and that is the height of the waistband. I wish it was a little bit higher, and I'm not a huge fan of having a lot of seams on leggings. I prefer less seams, just like the Align legging, and since the Instill has all of that stitching on the front, I can't say it's the best for me because I prefer a higher waistband and less stitching. Now, I'm definitely not saying that I don't like the Instill leggings because I am very impressed with them. I do really like them because I like how thick the material is. I like how I feel compressed in them. And sometimes I just want a legging that feels a little bit more compressive than the Align, and I feel like the Instill will definitely do that for me. I will definitely wear the Instill leggings for leg days and for HIIT workouts. Like I mentioned earlier, I feel like they will hold up really well over time. And I also like how they stay in place a lot better than the Aligns do sometimes, which is why I will definitely wear these for leg days. I feel like with the Instill leggings, I will wear more to the gym and more for working out. And with the Align leggings, I will probably save them more for yoga and for just like running errands or just to wear casually. If you are someone that is not a huge fan of the Wonder Train because you feel like they're too tight or you don't like the material, it's a little bit too slick for your liking, and you don't really like the Align leggings because they're not compressive enough, these are really, really nice in between, and I would highly recommend these for you if you kind of have that mindset when you're looking for leggings. Can I justify paying a little bit more for the Instill leggings than the Align leggings? I can understand why the price may be different, a little bit higher, just because it's a thicker material. But then again, so is the Wonder Train, and I think they're like $98. So I don't really understand why they're $118, maybe because they're brand new, but I will continue to purchase them because I do really like the fit. I like how they stay in place. I wish the waistband was a little bit higher, but that's okay. It's not a huge deal breaker for me, and they are super nice quality, just like the Aligns. I do recommend taking care of them just like your Align legging, just washing them on cold with detergent and hanging them to dry to make sure they last as long as possible. But like I mentioned a few different times, I feel like these will hold up a lot better over time. I linked both of the leggings in the description below. Please let me know if you have any questions again, and thank you so much for joining me in this review, and we'll see you in the next video.